Alrighty folks, good day. A little bit of a change in pace in terms of what we're doing for the video today. Hi, I'm standing up today. Change of pace. It's been a weird week, so we'll do something different anyway. We're talking about order of operations. And this is a standard that seems to be a review for most 6th grade kids. It seems like most kids have learned this in 4th grade a little bit, in 5th grade, so this really should be a review for you. And instead of giving you a lot of wordy, boring, extra notes, let's take a look at some examples. Let's remember that we're using parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, keeping in mind that multiplication and division are of the same rank, and also addition and subtraction are of the same rank, and we always work from left to right, just as we read. That's why the arrow is there. Follow that, okay? Doesn't matter where you are in the question, the order of operations is always to be used. It is a system that everybody uses, so everybody can be right. If we didn't have the order of operations, how would you know if you were right? Always follow it. Let's take a look at some examples, shall we? These two examples may look familiar to some folks, but not everybody. So if you're a third block student, you have a little bit of an advantage, I guess I can say. So don't give away the answer. Okay, you can give away the answer, just don't give it away to anybody in the other classes. Anyway, we have a question that looks like a fraction. We have an expression here, and it's divided by a fraction bar. As I always say, solve it, and go ahead and simplify. So I'm going to solve one, solve the other, and I'm going to bring those two answers together with that fraction bar and see if there's anything that needs to be done in terms of simplifying or converting to maybe a whole number answer or a mixed number answer. We don't know until we get there. I'm going to follow the order of operations, and that leads me to look at the parentheses first. I have a choice here. I can either take care of my exponents or I can divide. Which one is of a higher rank? I hope you said exponents. Exponent. More important than division, do that first. So I'm going to bring the rest of my problem over. I'm going to say 17 minus, and the 8 squared is 64. 4 squared is 16. And I'm actually just going to keep working until I get to the end of this particular expression. Then I'll work on this on the next one. It may look a little more complicated, but I'm going to try to jam it in here. I don't have too much room. 64 divided by 16 appears to be 4. And that would be 13. So I'm stuck on 13. I'll talk to you in a little bit. So 13 is my first part of the answer. I have another expression I have to address now. I have 6 plus 6 divided by 6 minus 6. What's first? Is it plus? Is it minus? Is it divide? I hope you know. Follow the order of operations. Division is first. So I'm going to do the 6 divided by 6 first. I have 6 plus whatever this is. It looks like it's going to be 1. And that's minus 6 to follow. My next step is just to work left to right, because my addition and subtraction are of equal rank. Just working from left to right as you would read a sentence. 6 plus 1 is 7. And 7 minus 6 obviously is... I think I'm done with that. I think it's 13. I hope you agree. I don't have room to write it, but I'll let you write it yourself. Obviously, if you need to pause, take a picture. I'm moving on. Let's take a look at this next question. It's just a single expression. There's nothing in the form of a fraction bar. We have 1 plus 3 quantity squared plus 3 to the 0 power times 10 squared. My order of operations is telling me to work on this first. And I'm going to work this one right here, so if you can't see that, I would expand your screen. It might make it a little easier to see, but I'm going to work it in the traditional sense where you bring all your work down and it kind of winnows its way to the answer. And I hope that you'll follow the same thing. Let me actually check the camera and see if you can see that. I think you'll be okay. So let's take a look. I'll work over here. 1 plus 3 is going to be 4. So that's going to be 4 squared plus 3 to the 0 power times 10 squared. Okay, again, I have all these exponents here, but I still have to work from left to right. So I'm going to work this one first. So it's going to be 16 plus 3 to the 0 times 10 to the second. I have 16, I'm going to run out of room here, plus 1 times 10 to the second. And I'm going to have 16, I know you can't see this, that's why I'm going to read it to you. 16 plus 1, oh, excuse me, 16 plus 1 times 100. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to try to rewrite that. So I know that's a little bit of a time waster, and I have about 6 minutes until the buses are going to get called. Oh, the fun of being a teacher. I gotta help me blow this so it gets a little bit dry here. Indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Time wasting, time wasting, time wasting. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write it over here. That way I can show the work over here. So don't be confused. I'm gonna show that reverse ice cream cone, or that reverse pyramid, or that ice cream cone, or whatever you call it, pizza slice. I'm gonna show it over here. So it's gonna be 4 squared plus 3 to the 0 power times 10 squared. So we have 16 plus 3 to the 0 power times 10 squared. Fix that. 16 plus 1 times 10 squared. 16 plus 1 times 100. And then our next step, which we haven't done yet, which would be multiplication. It's going to be 16 plus 100. And my answer should be 116. Wow, that came out as sloppy as the first time. Alrighty. Wow, that is terrible. I hope that you blow the video up a little bit so you can see that. But take my word for it, the answer is 116. And again, you're trying to make this simpler as you go down. I know it's really hard to discern because I kind of wrote the numbers kind of off kilter. But the answer is 116. Okay? We're following the order of operations. We're moving from left to right when we can inside a step, but we're also following a set order of steps in the order of operations. There you go. All right, we're going to switch gears here. So if you need to pause, pause. If you need to see it up close and personal, I'll show you it up close and personal. If you need to take a pause, pause now. And those are the work steps. Here's the question. Pause if you need to. First question. And you have your work as well. All right. We're going to move on now. And we have 2 more examples. This is the Vanna White version of math here, getting to take a tour of the room as well. And I think we can see everything here. Let's take a look at these guys. Hopefully this won't take as long. We'll go kind of quickly here. And I encourage you to try to solve these yourself. If you want to pause, solve it, then check your work against what happens here, please feel free. We have 5 to the, this is going to be a weird one, 5 to the 7 plus 1 divided by 5 squared minus 17 minus 1 power. Yes, I know. It looks kind of weird. However, this will follow the order of operations, and this is an expression that can be simplified using the order of operations. Can you see them? Yes, you can. Okay? We're going to follow the order of operations in this expression. However, I'm going to solve it right here. We're going to work it down right here, and then we're going to rewrite it on the other side. Okay? So I'm going to follow the order of operations. I have a set of parentheses here and here. I have 7 plus 1. That's just going to be 8. I have 5 squared minus 17. In the parentheses, I've got to follow the order of operations as well. 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 17 is going to be 8. Okay, I'm going to write that out so you can see it. 25 minus 17 minus 1. I'm going to rewrite this again. 25 minus 17 is going to be 8. And I'm bring down the rest of the question. 8 divided by 8 minus 1. Which step needs to be done first? Think of it as a hierarchy of ranks here. Which one is more important? It's going to be this one. What's 1 minus 1? I hope you know that. It's going to be 0. So I'm left with 5 to the 0 power. Do I have to tell you the answer? I guess I have to. There's your answer. And you're all set with that one. The answer is 1. Okay. Last question. We have a little bit of a combination question here. We have a little fraction, order of operations expression, and we have just something to add on to it, which is not really that hard. It's just something that has to be considered when you simplify the expression. We have 2 to the 3rd power, or 2 cubed, plus 2, divided by 6 minus 10 to the 0 power, plus 2. Our first step needs to be to take care of this. Obviously, there's nothing to take care of with plus 2 until the very end, because it's addition. It's not very important. It's not very high priority. And plus, it really wouldn't make any sense unless we figured out what this is first. So let's figure out what this is, and then let's figure this out. I'm going to write below it. So let me check to see if you can see below it. You should be able to see below it. All right, so we have 2 to the 3rd power. That would be 2 times 2 times 2. That would be 8. So I have 8 plus 2. And that would seem to be 10. I hope it's 10. Hope it's 10. 6 minus 10 to the 0 power. Well, 10 to the 0 power, or anything to the 0 power, is always... Anything to the 0 power is always 1. If you need a little help with that, I encourage you to take a view of the powers and exponents video concerning powers of 10. And there's a pattern in there that can help you understand that. 6 minus 10 to the 0 power, that's going to be 6 minus 1. And that equals 5. Well, guess what? What's 10 divided by 5? That's an easy question. I hope that you know it. 10 divided by 5 is going to be just 2. So I'm going to rewrite this question as 2 plus 2. And I hope I don't have to tell you the answer to that. And you know what? I'm not going to. If you take a look at all of these questions, folks, you're going to notice that everything we did followed the order of operations. In the first example, even though it was one huge exponent problem, all it was just following the order of operations until we had a very simple answer. And most answers that you're going to come across in order of operations are going to be fairly simple. That doesn't mean that you can't have fractions and decimals and weird answers. But as long as you're following the order of operations, everything has organization. Everything has order. And it all comes back to, please excuse my dear aunt, Saluda, Salvatore, Sandy, Sally, whatever her name is. Left or right.